What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants, and as always, I got Lance on the audio. Say hi to Lance.
What's up?
It's good to have my co-host back. We kind of live a little bit far away from each other, so sometimes we got to do this from, kind of a
Yeah,
remote.
we can't always get together when we really want to and
Yeah,
do these videos, so this
especially
is
it
the
being
next
close to
best thing.
Christmas. Yeah, especially Christmas and all that coming up.
Holidays, yeah.
Yeah,
And my
but
kid's birthday, then right after that's Christmas. And
yeah.
I've been
But
busy.
but as always, guys, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Now, this is a video that we have been actually wanting to do for a while, and it just happened to be that there was a Screen Rant article just for that, and Draco versus Snape, who really deserved a redemption arc. Now, we've talked about this a good bit at times, about Snape and how we feel towards him, and even Draco too. Do you feel like
Yeah.
Draco deserved which one do you think deserved the
I,
redemption arc?
I personally would have preferred to see Draco's redemption arc over Snape's. I mean, I enjoyed Snape's redemption, but I was always kind of a Draco fan, but that's because at heart I'm a Slytherin. So
well, I come at it from the opposite way on that one, and I think it all kind of goes back to what we've talked about in the past about
I was just to say that, like
when
we've said in previous videos, I read these books as a child.
yeah, you read them as a
And
child.
I hated Snape all the way up until Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. So with me, I read them. I got into it as an adult.
Because of
And
me.
so I looked at it from an adult perspective. Like I recognized right off the bat what was going on with Snape.
I basically forced you to read these books. I was
Yeah.
like, here's the books, take them, read them.
Yeah,
You gotta have more
Yeah.
knowledge than just watching the movies. Come on, man.
But Snape. But as far as Draco is concerned, this is my take on Draco. I feel like Draco was. I won't go so far as say he was misunderstood. I think he was a bully because his parents were bullies, and he would have had to live up to that reputation.
His father, big time. His father's
Yeah.
big time. His mom wasn't so bad, you know. I
Like
think
he
she
would
just
have.
kind of fell in line with being the
Yeah.
wife that supported her husband almost to the T.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of these they come from pure blood families. Well, I mean, look at
Right.
who her sister was, Bellatrix. So I mean,
Yeah, but I mean,
she couldn't have been
at
in
the
a
same
family that
time,
wasn't
her
that way.
cousin was Sirius Black and her niece was Nymphadora Tonks. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all about the family thing. You know,
Yeah.
they at the end of the day they had to make their own choices,
Yeah.
and some of them made good choices, some of them made bad choices.
But let me put it.
Draco,
Oh, you go ahead.
with Draco, I personally do feel like he was misunderstood, but
Do you feel like? Yeah, but see, with me, when it comes to Draco, I feel like he was not really even what I would call a bully. I feel like he was just a jerk. I don't even put him. They put him as a. A lot of Harry Potter fans put him as a kind of antagonist to Harry Potter. I don't think he was an antagonist to Harry Potter. I think he was an antagonist to Ron Weasley and to Hermione at times, but not to Harry.
I feel like when it comes to Draco and Harry, they kind of antagonized each other more than it was just Draco always antagonizing Harry Potter. I feel like Harry Potter did his fair share of antagonizing Draco. Like,
I think so too.
I definitely would agree with you when it comes to him antagonizing Ron, and that stems back to the family thing because it was evident from the very beginning that Lucius and Arthur Weasley had some sort of a rivalry, I guess, so I think that just kind of stemmed down to their children. Like, did Draco automatically be like, "You're poor, so screw you"? No, it was, "Oh, my father's told me all about your family." You know?
So I mean, I kind of look at it in this way when it comes to Draco. I look at it as if Harry Potter, they might not have got along, him and Draco might not have got along, but I feel like if Harry Potter would not have been friends with Ron Weasley or even Hermione, I mean, you know, one of those two or both of those two, I feel like Draco would have left Harry Potter alone simply because of Harry Potter's reputation. He wouldn't have wanted to appear like he was being an antagonist to the boy who lived, but he felt like he could because of Harry Potter's attachment to Ron Weasley.
Now, I would agree with that to an extent. Now, if you go by the books, in the first book, you know, Harry met Draco before he met Ron, and they didn't really have that problem with each other when they met at the when they were getting their school robes. They kind of had a little conversation. They both get measured up, and they were kind of semi-friendly to each other.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until they got to Hogwarts, after Harry had already decided he was going to be Ron's friend on the Hogwarts Express, that Draco kind of was antagonizing Ron by being like, you don't want to get involved with the wrong sort of wizard, so I can help you there. And so at that point, Harry was like, no, this is my buddy, so screw you.
Yeah, I almost kind of feel like in Harry Potter's case, when it comes to Draco, I felt like if just in the middle of the friendship that Harry Potter was like, you know what, screw you, Ron, I'm going to go hang out with Draco. I think Draco would have open arms towards him.
Also, another thing is when Harry Potter goes to Hogwarts and they're doing the sorting thing. If Harry hadn't said anything and was sorted into Slytherin, I think him and Draco would have been best friends.
I could see that. And I know the cursed child is not Kanan, but still, you know, there was some truth to kind of that. People kind of thought that as well.
I hated the whole cursed child.
I did too.
Thing. If there had been, you know, at the end of the Harry Potter movies, when it flashes like 18 years later and they're all old and their kids are getting onto the train, if it had showed Harry's son sitting with Draco's son and them kind of becoming friends, I would be more open to believe that than I do just because some fans wrote it in a fan fiction book about Harry Potter's kids. Like,
I agree. I agree with that. But see, I don't really look at him as Draco really having a redemption arc. I don't think that a redemption arc would have even felt anything if he would have done
Draco didn't really get his redemption arc because, like, it showed Harry risked himself and Ron and Hermione to go back and save Draco. Yeah. But other than that, like, Draco didn't. When they were at the Battle of Hogwarts and they basically had to choose sides at that point, if Draco had went and sided with Harry right then before Harry beat Voldemort, I'd have been like, okay, there's his redemption. But that didn't really happen.
Now that I think about it, there was one slight moment where there was a redemption. You remember when they were at the mansion?
When they captured them and took them to the manor, Draco could have identified Harry. I think he just chose not to. And that was a semi-redemption arc, but it was never full-fledged. Like, they could never prove that Draco absolutely knew that was Harry.
It was like the enemy of my enemy is my friends, and I think at that point he kind of looked at Voldemort more as a challenge to his family than what Harry Potter was.
Yeah, absolutely. He looked at Voldemort and seen what he did to his family, because look what Lucius became towards the end was basically just a whipping boy.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so,
and I think he did lose all respect for his father.
I think he did too. All right, so
because at the end, you know, he goes off with his mom, and he's kind of looking at his dad like, "Screw you," you know.
Yeah, and rightfully
so. You're nothing. You're nothing. Like, you're not who you raised me to believe you were.
No,
and
he's not that tough wizard. Not that pure blood. That pure blood didn't mean so much when it came to, you know, that he was submissive.
Or their money. Their money didn't mean anything because.
Yeah. He was he was in a position that he was subservient. But as far as Snape is concerned, let's talk about him for a little bit. As far as Snape is concerned, I feel like Snape did get a redemption arc. I don't really,
No, he definitely did, and like I said, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they had went the other way instead of Snape, I'd have been happier with that. Me personally, I would have preferred to see a full redemption arc with Draco Malfoy over seeing the full redemption arc with Snape.
See, I enjoy.
I don't hate Snape. But as a kid reading the books, I absolutely hated him.
See, I look at Snape, and this is the way I personally look at Snape, and tell me if you think that you look at him similarly. I look at Snape as really someone that every bad thing that he really kind of did do was either through accident or because he literally had no choice in the matter. Like
to an extent, I mean, there was some things, in flashbacks and stuff where, he did some things and said some things out of anger.
Yeah.
And,
look, the whole mudblood thing that he called Harry Potter's mother, that was out of anger, and that was after she had chosen Harry Potter's father over Snape. And he felt bad in that moment. So that was a regrettable moment. But it wasn't a moment that was like really where he needed a redemptive arc.
I think that looking at it as an adult over how I looked at it as a kid reading the books, I felt like he always tried to redeem that part of him by looking out for Harry the best way he knew how.
Yeah.
He wasn't always nice to Harry, but he always protected Harry. I mean, when Quirrell tried to basically kill Harry by jinxing his broomstick, it was Snape that was trying to stop it from happening.
But wasn't it? There's that when
Harry had the locket Horcrux and didn't have a way to destroy it, Snape sent him the sword.
Yeah.
He was always trying to protect Harry and help Harry, and you didn't see that so much through the books as you did in the movies. And like I said, as a kid looking at it, I didn't grasp the gratification of it all.
Well, see, I remember in the books there was one moment when I was reading it, and to me it was powerful and it kind of stuck with me. It was right after Ron and Harry crashed that car into that tree. And so they're there, and they get caught by Snape, and Snape tells them that they're late, and they miss the ceremony, and all that stuff. And he tells Harry Potter, basically, hey, you know what? You've got responsibilities, and you've got to live up to them. Just because you're the boy who lived don't mean I'm going to treat you any different. He was trying to tell him, own up to your responsibility.
I could see your side of that. I mean, maybe not in those words he said all that, but I get what you're saying. I think that he was trying to make Harry Potter into a better human being, a better person, so that Harry would be able to succeed later in life. But
I think
I think he just went about it the wrong ways at times.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I always kind of felt like Harry never made it easy on Snape. Harry was always in your face and always like, you don't know my parents and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, when actually Snape did. It's Harry that did those parents.
At the same time, Snape didn't make things easier on Harry either. First day at school, Harry's taking notes and trying to really learn all he can, and Snape kind of bullies him.
You know where I feel like Snape was completely in the wrong was with Longbottom. I kind of feel like he always with Neville. He was
definitely, and that kind of goes back to him being a Death Eater and what happened with Neville's parents. I mean, I don't think Snape was always the good guy we got to see throughout.
No,
there was things in his life where he was very dark, and so I do think that without the redemption arc, none of us would have liked Snape.
No, I actually agree with that on that.
And one of the big reasons everybody fell for Snape was Alan Rickman playing Snape in the movies, because if you compare Alan Rickman's version of Snape, compare it to the book version of Snape, we got two different characters here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I kind of feel like Alan Rickman's character as Snape was even better than the book version in that one way. Like, of course, I think he actually hit the book version almost perfectly. Like, I think he was. When you talk about perfect cast, I think.
Visually, yes, I would agree with that. Now, I do feel like he made the character Snape more likable in the movies than he did in the books, because he had these little funny moments, like when Umbridge in the movies, when Umbridge is like going around and watching all the teachers, and she's asking him questions, and she's like, "Oh, you first applied for the Defense Against the Dark Arts position, is that correct?" And he's like, "Yes." And then she's like, "But you failed to get it." And he's like, "Obviously, I'm a potions teacher, so clearly I didn't get that position." So, Alan Rickman brought some like comedy to Snape where you didn't really see that in the books.
Yeah.
And so, as visually goes, I couldn't picture anybody other than Alan Rickman playing that part. But
I agree.
As far as characteristics, I don't think he was on point in the movies as he was the books. And I know a lot of people are going to get mad at that, and I'm not talking crap about him. I'm just saying that we got to see a different side of Snape through the movies than we did the books.
But overall, I would say Snape did get a redemption arc. Would you agree at least that much with it? That Snape did kind of get a redemption arc?
Well, yeah, because he died trying to save Harry.
Yeah, but do you believe that Snape deserved a redemption arc? Do you think that he deserved it?
I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it, but I'm not going to say that I feel like he deserved it more than Draco.
I kind of feel almost like Draco getting a redemption arc wouldn't have meant anything to anybody. I don't feel like it would meant very much to me, at least. I don't know about you, but that's the way I personally feel. Like he could have turned into the nicest guy in the world. It wouldn't change anything. But
it would have meant a lot for me, because but that's one of the things we disagree on a lot of things, and that's what makes it so great.
That's why it's called Rants or Us, just because of that very reason. We rant, but sometimes we rant at each other about certain things. But that's fine. I'm a huge Alan Rickman fan. I was a huge Snape fan.
I think now, if you were to talk about Alan Rickman hitting the nail on the head when it came to Professor Snape, Tom Felton owned the Draco Malfoy.
See, I looked at
that character.
I think he did too. I think he was a stronger presence than a lot of. I would even go so far as say as Dumbledore in a lot of them, because he was more around than Dumbledore was in the movies and in the books.
Definitely.
But
the books and the movies would have sucked without Draco Malfoy. It's as simple as that.
To me, I feel like it didn't matter either way. Like when I was reading the books, like his character didn't matter that much. When I thought he would be a great love interest for Hermione later on. I thought that. I was wrong about. Well, I think I was kind of wrong about that.
My issue with that is, like, we've talked about this 1,000 times if we've talked about it once. My issue with that is it would have never worked out, because even if Draco really had been in love with Hermione and that's why he ridiculed her so much, he could have never brought her home to his family. Like, he would have been completely disowned.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
but
so
let me.
I feel like that's why that never happened.
Yeah, and I see that too. I don't think fans would have bought it either.
Redemption, as far as redemption goes, there is that little moment between Draco and Harry at the very end where they're grown men with their kids, where they kind of acknowledge each other at the station. They don't really talk to each other, but they send each other a signal of respect at least.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, my take on it is, I don't feel like Draco's story arc really.
Now, I don't think a lot of people will agree with me on this topic, but me personally, I would have preferred the Draco redemption over the Snape one.
See, I would have enjoyed a little bit more Snape. in it to kind of, you know, of course I know they did flesh out a lot of his backstory. I would have enjoyed a little bit seeing more of him as a Death Eater. Seen a little bit some of the things he done. Maybe I would have felt differently if I would have saw more.
Yeah, I always kind of wanted a prequel where
Yeah.
it was about Harry's parents and Snape and all
Yeah.
that, and
Yes.
Voldemort actually killing them over, you know, Fantastic Beasts. That's just me personally.
Yeah, that's the way I felt toward it. So overall, I think that's about it for me. I think, you know, like me, I say
Yeah,
Snape, you say Draco.
Yeah, on this one we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we'll agree. But as always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Y'all take care, guys.